XRP Army, listen closely because what I'm about to share with you is one of the most controversial, most mind-bending theories in the XRP community right now. Imagine waking up tomorrow and seeing XRP valued at $25,000 overnight. Sounds insane, right? But what if I told you there's a growing theory, backed by insiders, data points, and global financial shifts, that this may not be as far-fetched as it seems? Stick with me until the very end, because this is going to flip the way you see XRP forever. Before I start, I would like to say I'm not a financial advisor, nor is this financial advice. This is just for entertainment purposes only. Now, before we dive deep into the $25,000 overnight theory, let me ask you something. What if XRP wasn't designed to be just another cryptocurrency? What if its actual purpose was to serve as the backbone of a new digital financial system? Central banks, governments, and major institutions around the globe have been quietly experimenting with settlement systems. And what digital asset pops up over and over in these discussions? XRP. The same XRP that many people still think is just a remittance coin. But insiders know it's far bigger than that. So how do we even get to a number as astronomical as $25,000 per coin? It comes down to liquidity, global debt, and a little-known concept called a bridge currency reset. Right now, the world is drowning in debt, over $300 trillion in global debt, to be exact. That debt needs to be restructured, settled, and reconciled. And if you've been paying attention to the chatter on X, some high-level accounts have been pointing out that XRP is uniquely positioned to absorb that liquidity. Think about it. With only about 100 billion tokens ever created, the math starts to get wild when you divide global settlement needs by XRP's supply. But wait, because here's where it gets really shocking. Just last night, a tweet went viral, claiming that certain insiders believe a secret agreement is already in place between international financial institutions to use XRP as the settlement layer for cross-border transactions. Now, whether you believe that or not, the engagement on that tweet was explosive, with thousands debating if a coordinated overnight price revaluation could actually happen. And here's the kicker. Every time this rumor resurfaces, XRP tends to rally in the days that follow. Coincidence or breadcrumbs? Let's slow down for a second. You're probably asking yourself, okay, Matthew, but how realistic is it that XRP jumps to $25,000 literally overnight? The skeptics will say, that's impossible. No asset has ever done that. But let's flip the question. How many times in history has an asset been suppressed, manipulated, and kept artificially low, only to explode once it was set free? Gold after Bretton Woods, Tesla stock before the EV revolution, Bitcoin going from pennies to 60,000. XRP might be sitting in that same position right now. Now here's another tweet that caught my eye today. One influencer compared XRP's suppressed price action to a compressed spring. The longer you push it down, the more violent the snapback once the pressure is released. And the theory goes like this. Regulators, central banks, and institutions know XRP's true value, but they're intentionally keeping the price suppressed until the system is ready. Once the switch flips, the theory suggests an overnight revaluation could shock the world. And yes, that's where the 25,000 figure comes from. But let's build the case with numbers, because I know some of you need more than hype. If XRP were to facilitate just 10% of global cross-border payments, that's a multi-trillion-dollar market. Divide that by circulating supply, and suddenly you're staring at valuations in the tens of thousands. And that's without factoring in derivatives, which alone represent a quadrillion-dollar market. If XRP even becomes a fraction of that settlement mechanism, the math starts lining up with the so-called overnight theory. And yet, I can hear the doubts. You're saying, but Matthew, governments don't move overnight. This would take years, not days. Fair point, but remember 2008. Remember how in a single weekend, banks collapsed, bailouts were structured, and the financial system transformed before our eyes. Change doesn't happen gradually when crisis hits. It happens instantly. And if a coordinated global liquidity event were to unfold, XRP could absolutely be revalued overnight as part of the reset. Let me hit you with a what-if scenario. What if tomorrow, The IMF announces that XRP will be used as the neutral settlement asset for all central bank digital currencies. What if the Federal Reserve, the European Central Bank, and the Bank of Japan all reveal they've been quietly accumulating XRP off market? Do you really think XRP would stay at its current price for even 1 second? No. Liquidity would flood in, and revaluation could be immediate, not gradual. And here's something else you won't hear on mainstream media. There's a growing belief in the XRP army that this revaluation theory is intentionally mocked to keep retail investors out. Because if everyday people actually believed XRP could hit 5 digits or higher, they'd load up now, and institutions wouldn't be able to accumulate quietly. Think about that. Why else would the narrative always paint XRP as the banker coin nobody wants, yet banks keep testing it behind the scenes? Now let's address some pain points, because I know many of you have been holding XRP for years, waiting for liftoff. You've been told time and time again, next month, next year, next bull run. And the frustration is real. But what if that frustration is part of the plan? The longer retail holders get worn out and sell, the more supply gets scooped up by whales and institutions. Then, when the reset button is pressed, who benefits? Not the ones who sold. It's the patient ones, the ones still here, watching this video right now. And let me be clear, I'm not saying tomorrow morning you'll see 25,000 on your portfolio, but the theory, the math, and the whispers suggest it's not impossible. If you doubt this, just remember how many times in history the impossible became reality. No one believed the internet would replace newspapers. No one believed Bitcoin would hit 60,000. No one believed Tesla would become the most valuable car company in the world. And yet, here we are. So here's my climactic prediction. Whether it's this year, next year, or in the near future, XRP will shock the world with a revaluation so extreme, the skeptics will be silenced overnight. $25,000 might sound like fantasy today, but it could be tomorrow's headline. And when that day comes, you'll either be celebrating as part of the XRP army, or you'll be kicking yourself for not believing when you had the chance. XRP family, this is bigger than price charts and technical analysis. This is about a once-in-a-lifetime shift in the global financial system. And we're sitting front row, so if this blew your mind, smash that like button right now. Drop a comment telling me what your XRP price target is. Subscribe to the channel for non-stop insider-level analysis. And share this video with every member of the XRP army, because together, we're going to take XRP to the moon and beyond. Stay strong, stay patient, and never forget, you're part of financial history in the making.